pro boxing fans here at your call with me. No, then Conlan, always a pleasure seeing you. I've not seen you for a little while. I know you've been fighting in Ireland. Unfortunately, I haven't been there. I've not been told to cover it, which is my fault. But all good seeing you. You've got a smile on your face. A couple of weeks out from your fight. How you doing?
A week good. Yeah, I'm good. You know, here supporting H and his boxer Khaled, getting the win. So yeah, so a week out from the fight, I was going to be sitting in the apartment board. So I says I'll come and watch. I'll come and support. So happy to be here.
Let's talk about changes for this camp. Obviously, a new trainer, Pedro Diaz. Just talk to me about why. You know, there's a lot of trainers out there. What made you go across the seas and sort of pick Pedro Diaz?
Yeah, listen, I had a few coaches in mind. I went and trialled a few coaches, and you know, for me, Pedro ticked all the boxes. A part of everything, doing everything, has a plan from day one right till fight night, and you know, everything which has happened in training camp has showed me I've made the right decision. So he's a fantastic coach. I was going to train on the East Coast anyway because closer to kind of home for time difference for my kids, because I'll be away from them. So I looked at Miami, I looked at a few coaches, Buddy McGurd, Jorge Rubio and Pedro, and I reached out to all of them, and I actually was delighted to see that Pedro had reached out to me after my fight as well, but without me knowing. I hadn't seen any of my messages, and he'd reached out to me saying he still believed they could be world champion and stuff, and that wasn't a deciding factor at all, but you know, that actually showed me that, you know, he had intent in trying to be world champion, so I'm happy.
Can I ask, obviously it's a bit of an awkward one, but everything between you and Adam Booth, is everything okay? Do you leave on good terms? You know, a lot of people like to know what happens, but you don't need to answer it, but it's just...
I can answer it, no problem. It's all on good terms.
Jesus Christ. There's a second now.
Yeah, it was all on good terms. You know, I went over and seen Adam face to face and said, listen, you know, I think it's time for a change. I think I want to get out of Dodge and head over to the US again, and you know, try a few coaches if there. I think a new start, something fresh, something new was what I needed. We had two attempts at a world title. One was a close failure. The second was I'll put the foot in the door so no one can open. The second was, you know, I just didn't perform. So yeah, I felt it was time for a change, and I'm glad I made it.
Like I said, two well-set opportunities there. Mentally, where you at? Because a lot of people are going to say, listen, Conlan, maybe he's not cut up for it. When he gets to that final fight, you know, he hasn't done it. What can you say to people? Say, listen, this is my chance. Third time, I'm going to do it.
Listen, I know I can be world champion. I know I will be world champion. I know my abilities, and even with Pedro, we're fine-tuning things which I'm good at. My best assets, using my legs, doing different things and stuff. So I'm really happy at the minute. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. If people don't think I'm a world champion, they can think what they want to think. I'm not out to try and prove them wrong. I'm just to prove myself right, and that's my plan, is to go in there and do a job next week, look good doing so, and then, you know, we're back into big talks.
Jordan Gill, somebody that we know well, somebody I know when you were sort of, you know, coming through the ranks, you know, there might have been times where you might have like maybe come across each other on the sparring path, but just talk to me about Jordan. What do you think of him as a fighter?
Yeah, I think Jordan's a very good fighter. You know, he can be dangerous if you let him. We've seen in his fight with Kareem Murphy, you know, when he's backed into the corner, he can pull the wonder shot out if he needs it, and he needed it in that fight. So yeah, listen, I know he's a good fighter. He has good boxing abilities, but I don't believe he's on my level, and I plan to show that next week. I plan to go in there and do a real job on him.
Do you want to talk about sort of other fights around your situation? You want to talk about Leigh Wood, somebody that you faced in the past? Just talk to me about his performance against Josh Warrington. A lot was made of it, that, you know, and I spoke to him the day after. He said, listen, that weight's done for me, I'm done. I need to move up. And I think it was evident from that performance and the way he came in on the weigh-in that time. But Leigh Wood moving up, there's a lot of talk about a fight with Joe Cordina possibly in the future. What do you make of Leigh's sort of run, obviously with yourself and after yourself?
Yeah, yes, you got to give him credit. He's done a fantastic job with limited abilities. You know, he has a good punch, But in terms of boxing abilities, he's limited, and I think you even seen that in the Warrington fight. You can't say that that was the game plan or anything like that, because that was not a game plan. No plan to be losing rounds, getting hit, and then land a shot out of nowhere. History repeated itself, didn't it? But yeah, listen, it is what it is. He's done a good job. He's done the right thing by moving up. My next fight myself is at 130. But yeah, listen, fair play to him. We gotta give him credit. But as a person, I don't know. I don't know him as a person. What I've seen of him across instances, he is who he is.
I do want to quickly talk about other bits of boxing. A lot of news coming from Saudi Arabia, who seem to be making massive waves. I was at both press conferences last week where they announced Parker and Wilder and Anthony Joshua fighting Wallin. The next day they've announced Fury Usyk for the undisputed. Just talk to me about the waves that the Saudis are making right now in boxing.
It's amazing, and it's fantastic for the fighters, because with Saudi coming in and the money they pump into the sport and the backing they give the fighters, it's fantastic, because let's be honest, the fighters are the ones who are in the least most of the time in this game. It's a dirty old game, and if these guys are in to help pump money in the boxing and help the fighters earn more money to secure their families, secure their futures, I'm all for it. So I think they're doing a fantastic job. I think even the Ngannou Fury fight was a fantastic atmosphere, a fantastic show. The world was talking. The much stars and celebrities there. It was amazing to see. The performance of Fury baffled me, but that's another interview in itself. But yeah, listen, they're doing a great job. So fair play to them.
Yeah, I was out for that one in Saudi, and I've got to say I've covered a lot of boxing in my years, and I think that's sort of top tier. The amount of celebrities I was there, not even celebrities, legends in the sport, all in one room having dinner. Yeah, it was crazy. Do you want to talk about a trainer change with Anthony Joshua, with Ben Davison? Talk to me about that one. You sort of seen Ben's style throughout the years with Billy Joe and Tyson Fury and everyone else, Josh Taylor. Will that be a suited partnership, do you reckon?
I don't know. I think Josh is just he's changed his mind so many times here and changed coach so many times. It's not a good look in a sense. How good is the trainer of Ben Davison? I don't really know. I can't say I think he's an amazing coach or I think he's a bad coach or anything, but yeah, I don't know what he can do for Joshua. I don't know if his style will help Joshua or he can give Josh the confidence. I don't really know. I just know that if you look at someone changing coaches so often, it's probably a lack of weakness in the mind, more so than anything. Because let's be honest, he's a fantastic athlete. He's got great abilities. He's a very good boxer. He's heavyweight world champion, former heavyweight world champion. But the much information and disinformation which probably get in and out of his head from different coaches, different people, coaches, non-coaches, he's probably quite confused. And you probably think she should have stuck with Rob McCracken. I think McCracken was a good coach for him and done a great job with him. Got him to where he got him to. Just some tweaks needed to be made, but who knows? Ben could do a great job with him, and if he does, fair play.
Talk to me about that one then. Wallin, AJ, and Parker, Wilder. Good card. Yeah. What happens in them two fights?
They're both hard fights for both of the big guys. Wallin we seen against Fury. Very slippy, very tricky. Trained by Joey Gamache, isn't he? Joey's a fantastic coach, and he could go in and beat Joshua. There's no doubt in my mind that that's a possibility. But will he? I don't know. The heavyweight division is the heavyweight division. These things happen, and different things happen, as we see even Fury and Ngannou. But even Parker versus Wilder, it's an interesting fight, man. Joe's a tough man. And he's not going to be a static target for big Deontay just to land bombs on. And I know that Andy will come in with a good game plan and they'll do a good job. So they're both interesting. They're both winnable fights either way, but you have to favour the two bigger guys in Joshua and Wilder in those fights.
Final one, and you spoke about Fury a few times. I was there at that fight, and I think we were all as shocked as anyone else with, first of all, the knockdown, and then sort of just Tyson Fury not being the Tyson Fury that we've seen, Francis Ngannou doing what he got to do. Do we take that as a factor going into the undisputed fight, or do you feel like there's different levels of motivation, different levels to this fight for him to wake up to?
Yeah, listen, I thought about this a little bit, not too much because I don't really worry about heavyweight boxing too much, but you know, I was thinking, did he even train for this fight? Has he done anything? Has he underestimated him? But what worried me more was Fury not calling for an immediate rematch. That worried me more. I was like, what the fuck? You could have done this undisputed a long time ago. Don't get on like we're on undisputed now. You should be calling for an immediate rematch just to prove the point. So that worries me more than anything, that he didn't call for an immediate rematch. Why not? Why not? Let's be honest. He should be, like, the people's perspective, he should have destroyed Ngannou way easier than what he should destroy Usyk. So is Usyk an easier look than Ngannou? I don't know. I think it's the first time we've seen Fury in with someone who's probably bigger and, well, not height-wise bigger, but physically bigger and stronger than him, where he couldn't just lie on him, bully, and like just use his weight as an advantage. He had no weight advantage in this, and maybe that was a scary thing for him. I don't know, but interesting. It's an interesting game. Boxing's just boxing. You know what I mean? It's.
Does that sway for you though? Does that sway for you? A lot of people had Fury sort of against Usyk. When I spoke to 9 out of 10 people, everyone was saying, listen, Fury's too big, too strong. With that performance, does that sway people a little bit to say, listen, Usyk's a very talented fighter?
I think so. I think it gives Usyk a bigger shout, and I've been an Usyk fan from day one, from back in the amateurs. I called him beating Joshua years before it even happened, and I think now, I was saying Fury's too big, but now you're looking going, I don't know, but at the same time, as I says, Ngannou was probably the only person who's been as big and stronger than him, so maybe that was the difference.
Cool, Mick. I've taken up a lot of your time. I do appreciate your time as always. Good luck for the rest of camp, and good luck with fight. Thank you so much, Dr. Pro Boxing fans. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Bro, thank you.
You're a star.
Done.